for reaching out. What can I assist you with today?
Yeah, I was wondering, can I get a little bit more info about the business Ascendius?
I can help with that. What specific information are you looking for about Ascendius? Are you
Yeah,
interested?
I was wondering, like, what do you guys do? Like, who do you guys help?
We help businesses automate their operations using.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today's video, as you can see from the title of the, I guess you could say the video, is that I will be comparing 3 different types of voice, I guess you can say voice websites that you can build out voice agents and chatbots and all that stuff. So it's called Retell, Vapi, and as well as ElevenLabs. Now, for me personally, I recommend, I'd say Retell more, but ElevenLabs at the same, I don't know. I mean, it's just like, it's weird. I mean, there's a lot of functions that go into those certain type of websites in each website, or each app, I guess you can say. And yeah, I mean, pretty much like this video is just showing, I'll be showing you guys which one I recommend the most, just showing you guys on how to build a regular voice agent that you guys can sell on to like multiple types of businesses as well. And without further ado, I'll stop the chatting and let's get straight into the video. Peace. Okay, so we are in the N8N workflow right now. So today I'll be showing you the first of the website, which is going to be ElevenLabs. So I'll go over ElevenLabs first, then after that I'll go over Retell, and then after that I'll go over Vapi. So first of all, we're going to come into our ElevenLabs agent. Now this might be a little confusing for you guys, for beginners at most, but for advanced people, right? Obviously you guys can tell. The ElevenLabs, whenever someone talks here, I'm going to unpin this real quick actually. Whenever someone whenever someone talks to the agent, right? It's going to go into this webhook, then it's going to come into this AI agent, and this AI agent, as you can see, you could just put in their user request, and you guys can copy this if you guys want. That's totally up to you. And then just letting it know that the current day and time is now, right? Just because, when we are booking on appointments, we want to make sure that it actually works. As well as this as well, obviously just saying you are a customer support AI designed to handle various tasks efficiently, and just giving it tools, right? For example, giving it the available tool, the schedule tool, the vector store tool, sheets tool. And when we come out here, right, obviously you can say, it has the tool of schedule, available, SERP API, and you might be wondering what all these tools might be, and I'll get to that in a sec. But whenever you actually build out these voice agents, right, you want to make sure that you come into webhook and it's going to be on post. This has to be always on post, and make sure that it's saying using respond to webhook node, and that also means come into here, respond to webhook, and then make sure that this is on all incoming items, right? Usually it's gonna, when you do, I guess you can say, hit the plus sign and just use this webhook, it's gonna always just say first incoming item as like the basic thing. So make sure you just change it into all incoming items, because we want to make sure that all of the voices and everything that the transcribed voice on the voice chat agent is getting picked up, right? Obviously if you just say first incoming item, it's not going to really work. So I'm going to explain all these tools. Usually OpenAI chat model here, right? Usually it just says like OpenAI chat model. I like to keep it at GPT-40, and make sure to hit your put your credentials in as well. If you don't know what your credentials are, highly recommend just literally just search up a YouTube video saying how to connect your credentials, and it's going to take you like less than 5 minutes. So with that out the way, we're going to come into the tool. So this is going to be schedule, available, SERP API. SERP API is just mainly like, it's kind of like its own Google thing. It's literally like Google. It's just this agent can use the SERP API to pretty much go all over the website or internet and just find what is necessary, right? So that's kind of how it goes. And then there's obviously Google Sheets as well. Google Sheets, it pretty much like puts everything in here, right? Obviously there's nothing in here right now, but usually it would put in the information like name, email, number, and appointment date automated into there. And it's obviously going to send an email as well. So that's kind of how it goes. And you can easily integrate it as well here. I'll put in my website just for you guys to kind of check out. you guys can easily integrate it inside your website, and you guys can kind of put it on the bottom right here or whatever, right? And people can like obviously call, and it's pretty cool, to be honest. So we're gonna come into the ElevenLabs right here, and I will show you guys on how all of this works in ElevenLabs. So we're gonna come into the business agent Ascendius. Once we come into here, this is kind of the prompt. So you guys can just read this, right? I mean, it just says you are a business support agent named Remy, blah, blah, blah. Helps customers with anything they need. Response guideline, your main goal, blah, blah, blah. And make sure I'll go over the tools section a bit along in this video, but as you can see, right, it says possible email format, blah, blah, blah. If you call book_meeting and it fails, try again, blah, blah, blah. And current notes, the current year is 2025 when you use the tools and stuff like that, right? So you normally, you could just literally just have this as English. I do, and then this is the first message, so this is kind of like the message that you first get when you are talking to the agent, right? Maybe as for example, right? I mean, you guys probably seen the video in the beginning of the video, so I guess you can say you saw that demo vid. So that's kind of how it goes, right? And LLM, I usually like to have it fast. There's multiple ones right here, but I just usually like to have mine as fast. I know it's a little bit more pricier, like 0.005 cents more, but like, dude, like, what's that gonna really do, right? And that's per minute. And then temperature, I just kind of like to just leave it like that. And then agent knowledge base. So this is pretty much like my offer, right? This is like a Google Docs of what my company is, what my business does, and just putting it in my website as well, right? It's pretty simple. Now, tools. You might be wondering, book meeting, get available slots, Ascendius business. So we're going to come back up to here, and then as you can see, if customer asks anything related to Ascendius, use the Ascendius_business tool. So now this is where the agent can get information from here. Whenever someone asks about FAQs, they can get the information from here, right? And which is where I have it right here, right? So for example, I'll put in the name, and then make sure. You might be wondering, what do I put in the URL? You're going to come into N8N, you're going to come into the webhook, and then you're going to come into production. Make sure to come into production. If you're doing tests, you can also do that as well. But if you want to actually get this automated and not have to worry about executing it every single time, go to production, copy it, come into ElevenLabs, and literally just paste it right here, right? And yeah, I mean, pretty much you could just copy what I have. Obviously I have request, Ascendius information request. Customer is interested in working with Ascendius, right? So that's kind of how it goes. Get available slots. Now this is when a tool checks availability. When we come into N8N, it checks availability right here on the calendar space, right? So we're gonna come into here, use this tool, blah, blah, same thing with the URL. Make sure it's on post. Request, check available time for appointments in a friendly way. Ask the customer their name of the customer, and stuff like that. Same thing with book meeting. Use this tool to book the appointment requested by the customer. You make sure it's post, URL, copy and paste, request, the customer's ready to book a meeting, date, email, time, and phone. So this one is a little bit more because we want to make sure that we get as much information as we can when booking on the meeting, right? So after that's done, we come into workflow. You don't have to worry about that. That's only if you want to actually make workflows with this agent. We already have a workflow in it, so you don't have to worry about that. Voice, you can literally just pick and choose. I like to have it as 3 on the optimized streaming latency. You could just copy me. I just like to have it at 3, stability at 0.5, speed at 1, 0.8, similarity. But you can change it all like how you want it to. It's totally up to you guys though. Widget, so this is where you guys come in, copy this, and this is the embed code. So you can just put it onto your website and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna go into that deeply, but you guys can also change the color and stuff. I just have it green and blue, so that's pretty cool. But to be honest, like this is how ElevenLabs really goes, and stuff. So yeah, hopefully you guys understand how to build everything in ElevenLabs. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. So without further ado, let's get straight into the second voice chat, which will be Retell. Cool. So we are in Retell now. I'm gonna come out my agent. And as you guys can see, this is kind of how it goes, right? So currently I'm on a free trial, just for the purpose of this video. Kind of used around like almost $3 worth of credits, but Retell, in my opinion, is very, very good. Better than Vapi. It has less functions, but it's more simpler, right? So for example, Retell is very, very simple, and at the same time, it's very beginner friendly. Vapi is more advanced. ElevenLabs is also beginner friendly. I'd say Retell is more advanced than ElevenLabs, but at the same time, Retell is way easier to understand. So we're gonna come in here, and then we are going to go into our voice agent demo. So we're gonna come into Enter actually, and we're gonna go into the Retell agent demo, which is right here, Retell voice agent. So you might be wondering, this has less nodes than the ElevenLabs one, and I'll get to that in a second. You know, obviously this is just email, but this is kind of like a demo. So we're gonna come in here, unpin this real quick, save, and this is how it works, right? Same thing, webhook, AI agent. I did the same exact thing, right? You know, preferred time, name, address, right? So it's really pretty much the same. Giving it the same prompts as well. The only difference is obviously the voice agent. So we're gonna come in here, and you guys can copy exactly what I do, or what I say, right? But just tailor it to your own business. So obviously the identity is going to be you are Adrian, an AI voice agent for Ascendius AI, blah, blah, blah. You escalate to a human only when necessary. Stay natural, speak clearly, and just kind of giving it like the prompt, right? So once we do that, you know, you guys can come in here and just choose. Like I said, I like to have it mine as fast. So I like to have it at GPT-4o. Retell is a little bit more expensive than ElevenLabs, and you just got to be more mindful of it, right? So AI voice agents, you guys can pick and choose. For example, you know, you can do this.
Hi, I'm Adrian, your friendly virtual. Hi, I'm Adrian, your friendly virtual helper, always here to make your daily tasks easier and stress-free. What would you like assistance with today?
There you go. So, you know, you have these voices, all these voice agents. You got the genders, you got the accents, you got the types, right? So there's a lot of functions for sure. In English, now multilingual is where when someone just talks in a different language, it just pretty much transcribes it as their own language, right? So I'm not going to get into it too specifically, but that's just wanted to let you guys know. But you guys, there's a lot of more languages than just English here. So definitely cool to see. Now, when you do a welcome message, this is where an AI comes apart when you actually call the agent, right? So for example, AI speaks first or the user speaks first, right? So it could go either way. I mean, if you call on the agent or the voice chat agent, or I guess you could say voice AI agent, then if you have it as AI speaks first, it's going to speak first all the time. If you have it as user speaks first, it's always going to be you having to speak first, saying, hey, can I, you know, blah, 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 XYZ, then the agent starts speaking. I like to have it at AI speaks first, saying like, hey, how's it going? And then, you know, kind of having a dynamic message. You can have it as custom as well. But when you do it custom, you got to like kind of do the same thing as like ElevenLabs, where it's like, you know, we'll come back into ElevenLabs and just say, hi, thanks for reaching out. So I just like to have a dynamic message, just let the AI speak for itself. Now, after we're done with that, we'll get into these functions later, but we're gonna come into edit prompt tree. Now, once we're in edit prompt tree, this is where it gets kind of complicated, but at the same time, pretty easy. We're gonna go into the introduction, and introduction is like you are handling the start of an inbound call, blah, 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 and then just kind of saying, you know, steps. And then there's obviously like the same thing as ElevenLabs. There are going to be tools, for example, booking appointment tool, right? And transfer call tool, answer FAQs tool. So it's pretty much cool. It's pretty much the same, but just a little different. Now, once you do that, and you can always do new state right here, so you can always have a new state and you can just always connect it, but I'm gonna just delete this real quick. How do I delete this? Okay, cool. I'm gonna delete this real quick. And then after that, you know, obviously you guys can branch it out into different sections of the call. For example, booking an appointment. So this is pretty much how you can do it. You guys can copy me, you know, ask what their name is, blah, blah, blah. And then once they do that, they're going to call on the submit_lead_info tool immediately. So the tool is awesome. You guys can come in here, and this is how kind of it looks, right? And same thing, post. You want to come into N8N and do the exact same thing I just showed you when you do in ElevenLabs. Come into production, copy, come back, paste, and that's how it works. And pretty much the same thing, right? String, you know, name, preferred time, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, phone number, just having it as number, and then just kind of updating it from there, right? So it's really simple. Same thing with answer FAQs. I don't need a tool here. You know, obviously it could just kind of transfer over to this one. That's why, you know, you guys can see like the lines just being a little like unorganized, and you know, I guess you can say that. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna test the agent out real quick to show you guys an example. I'm gonna just save this real quick, and I will show you guys how this AI actually works. So we're gonna test.
Hi, thanks for calling Ascendius. This is Adrian. How can I assist you today?
I was wondering, can I book on an appointment, please?
Happy to help with that. Can I start by getting your full name, please?
It's going to be David O.
Thank you, David. Could I have a good email address to reach you at?
It's going to be elevateautoai@gmail.com.
Got it. ElevateAuto@gmail.com. What date and time work best for you? Please
Okay.
include your time zone.
Yeah, could I do September 2 at 3 p.m. CST?
Sure. Just to confirm, is that 3:30 p.m. in your local time zone? If so, could you let me know which time zone you're in?
It's 3 p.m. CST.
Thank you. And what's the best phone number to reach you at?
714-365-9472.
Thanks, David. Let me confirm everything. You're requesting a 30-minute consultation on September 2nd at 3 p.m. CST. Your name is David O. Your email address is elevateautoai@gmail.com, and your phone number is 714-365-9472. Does that all sound correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Thanks, David. Your consultation has been scheduled for September 2nd at 3 p.m. CST. Someone from our team will follow up with you shortly. Is there anything else I can assist you with today?
Nope, that'll be it. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, as you can see, that worked. Obviously, we'll come into our Google Sheets and we'll come into business chat, and you guys can see it here, automatically updated at September 2nd at 3 p.m. Only problem is I don't know why it's for an hour, and at the same time, I don't know why it's at, what is this? This is for, wait, sorry guys, give me a second here. It's at 3 p.m.? Interesting. That's so weird. Okay, it says 3 p.m., but it says it's at, I don't know. It's whatever. Well, that's kind of how it goes, right? I guess my Google calendar is just fucked up. But that's kind of how the Retell goes. Where's Retell? Yeah. So it's really simple, really, really easy, and you guys can just copy and paste pretty much what I do on this part. So functions, I don't touch anything. Knowledge base, I pretty much add the knowledge of, pretty much Ascendia's knowledge base, right? And I'll just put in, I pretty much add in like all the knowledge bases here. Speech settings, I just kind of like to have it like that. Real-time transcripts, you can like to have it like that. Call settings, I like to have it at 2.5 seconds. So this is where like if the agent waits, if someone doesn't speak, it's gonna wait 2.5 seconds and stuff, and then kind of go from there and say like, oh hey, are you still there and stuff. Post call analysis, I don't touch that. I mean, I just put GPT-4o mini, security and fallback, everything, blah blah blah. You guys can copy me. Webhook settings, 5 seconds, and then MCPS. I don't really touch this since I don't really know that, so I'm gonna hit publish real quick. Just publish it, and there you go. That is Retell for you guys. Only thing with Retell is that you can't really integrate this into a website. Like, how like ElevenLabs has this code embed thing. So Retell doesn't have that. It's only for a chatbot, right? If you convert it to a chatbot, you can. But I to be honest, I don't know how to integrate it into a website. So maybe like some people in the comments below can help me out with that. But so far, you can't really get the voice agent into a website on Retell since there's no code embed, right? So without further ado, let's get into Vapi, and that is going to be the last one. What's going on? Vapi time, right? So now we are in Vapi. I have 2 agents here. Don't worry about this one. We're going to focus on Ascendius's vape agents, okay? And pretty much it's really simple, right? I mean, it looks a lot more complicated, but at the same time, it really isn't, right? Once you understand it, it's not. And I'll show you guys on exactly pretty much how to go through it, and then just follow me, guys. I mean, you get better by, watching YouTube videos and doing it instead of just watching YouTube videos, right? So this is how it goes. Model, obviously you guys can just change the name here. Model, I like to have it OpenAI, and then GPT-4o cluster. Assistant speaks first. Obviously, like same thing as Retell. Do you want the person to speak first or the agent or the AI? I like to have the assistant, so the AI speak first. First message, hi, thanks for reaching out. What can I assist you with today? And pretty much the same thing, right? This is the same thing as I have built out in ElevenLabs. So it's really much the same. Now, and here's the thing as well, same tools. And I'll get to that in a second in Vapi. But obviously you could put in your files. Now, what do you mean? Like, what does this file mean? It pretty much means it's the Google Docs of the information, like FAQs about Ascendius, and stuff, and so on, and so on and so on. Temperature, I like to have it as 0.8. So temperature is pretty much like how random messages could pop up. For example, when you have the temperature at let's say all the way up until here, it could be like, hey, Ascendia is here. And so instead of saying first message like that, it could say like, hey, Ascendia is here, blah, blah, blah. So it could be like randomized. But if you wanted to just strictly follow your rules, you could just put it at 0. Max token, just keep it like that, 250, unless you want to do up to 350 or you want to spend more. Voice configuration, ElevenLabs. I like to have it as the provider as ElevenLabs. Some people like to have it as Vapi. Vapi doesn't really matter, right? There's so many other ones as well. Additional configurations, just pretty much copy me. I like to have it at 0.5, 0.75 and stuff like that. And then transcriber, I would like to always have it on, right? Because, and also do background denoising enabled, because you don't want background noise from the clients. Let's say a client wants to book on an appointment and they're outside and there's fucking wind, the agent's not going to really understand. So you want to make sure that it decreases the noise from the client's background perspective. Custom functions, we'll get to this in a second. Actually, no, this isn't the one. Predefined, you can just copy me and then forwarding the phone number. I just like to keep it blank, but whenever someone's having trouble with the agent, they could just always forward it to your personal phone number. And there's also dial keypad. Summary, privacy, you don't really have to worry about all these and stuff like that. And there's also a widget. So so Vapi has an embed code, just like ElevenLabs. Retell doesn't. So that's the only difference between Retell, Vapi, Retell and Vapi and ElevenLabs together. So Vapi has an embed code, which is better, to be honest. So we're gonna go into voice, and then pretty much it's the same thing, right? Voice, it's really just the same thing. It's not too complicated to understand, but the only complicated thing would be we go into tools, and you guys can see, right? You could just create tool, custom query, end call, transfer call, blah blah blah, send task and stuff like that, right? API requests. So pretty much get available slots. As you guys can see, we go into the overview. Obviously, you guys can see right here. It can show you how many calls you've done, how many. It's been 100% success, how much fail rate and stuff like that too. But we're gonna come into the Ascendius Vapi agent, and you guys can see, right, the tools here, get available to the slots tool, book meeting, and that's what we want to do. We want to come into tools, come into the create a tool section, custom tool, and you just put in everything in here, right? Like we did in ElevenLabs and Retell. Get available slots, use this tool, blah, blah, blah. And just doing the exact same thing, right? You guys know what to do now, right? At this point, you just come into N8N, literally just copy that from the webhook and just copy and paste it here. You don't need a secret token, and pretty much the same thing, right? It's really simple. And also parameters, right? You want to make sure that you add property and parameters, right? So I'm gonna just not save that, I guess. I'm gonna come back here, and then you just pretty much putting in your parameters, and then coming into book meeting. As you can see, I have more parameters in here just because we want more info when booking the meeting. Same thing, copy and paste, and you should be good to go. So I'm not gonna, just for the sake of this video, I'm not going to, because I don't want to waste my credits, right? So I'm not gonna talk to the assistant, but I'll talk to you a little bit. I'll just ask FAQs and then just kind of go from there, right? So we're gonna connect, and we are connected to the agents.
Thanks for reaching out. What can I assist you with today?
Yeah, I was wondering, could I get some info about Ascendius? Just pretty curious what it is. Hello? Could I get some info, please? Okay, I guess it doesn't want to fucking listen to me. I'm gonna do it again.
Hi, thanks for reaching out. What can I assist you with today?
Can I please get some more info about Ascendius? Okay, so I guess it's not responding. Well, usually it responds, I don't know why it's not responding in this case, but hopefully that, obviously you guys get the memo. So it's pretty much the same, but without further ado, that's pretty much what Vapi is. I've showed you guys of ElevenLabs, Vapi, Retell, and now I'll kind of just tell you guys which one I like the most, which one's not the best, which one I feel like, in my opinion, is the best one for me. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, cool. So pretty much that was the whole video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it was a little like unorganized, but trust me, I'm working on it. But to me, personally, like in my opinion, I really do personally feel like Retell is the best one for sure. Only downside is that I'm not too sure on how to embed the code widget or embed the code into a certain website. I think there is, I'm pretty sure there is, but I just haven't really figured it out in how I was able to figure it out in ElevenLabs and Vapi. Vapi and ElevenLabs, it makes it pretty easy for us to, you know, just embed the code, but Retell doesn't. In terms of voice, right, I really do personally believe ElevenLabs is really great. The voice agents are way better, more realistic. Vapi, not so much. Retell, it's all right, it's not the best, but I feel like ElevenLabs has a better voice agents. Now, with Vapi, I personally feel like Vapi has more functions, so it's way better. And Retell and ElevenLabs is simple. It's very beginner friendly, but Vapi has way more functions to the point where you're able to do more with it. So hopefully that answers everyone's questions. I know a lot of people were probably wondering what the difference between Retell, Vapi, ElevenLabs were, and maybe all these other models as well, which I didn't get to. But me personally, overall, I do believe Retell is the best. Just got to figure out how to use that code embed. But without further ado, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Gonna post way more content. Gonna push it out. Yeah, I'm just gonna push out content, guys. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, please drop a follow. I guess you can say drop a subscribe, like the video, comment down below on what else you guys want to see. And without further ado, I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.